Here are the most recent deaths in the national news, plus people's reactions to those deaths, as seen at Legacy.com in the second week of January 2022. Filmmaker Peter Bogdanovich died January 6, 2022 at his home in Los Angeles. He died of complications of Parkinson's disease at the age of 82. He directed popular and acclaimed films including The Last Picture Show, Paper Moon, and Mask. Bogdanovich is also being remembered as an actor and a devoted film historian who wrote books and directed documentaries about stars of classic Hollywood. Actor Sidney Poitier died January 6, 2022 at the age of 94. Widely considered one of the greatest actors of the 20th century, he was the first black star to win an Academy Award for Best Actor. He won in 1963 for Lilies of the Field. His classic films include Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, In the Heat of the Night, and To Sir with Love. He is also being remembered for his long dedication to civil rights. Poitier was a U.S. Army veteran who served during World War II. Actor and comedian Bob Saget died January 9, 2022 at the Ritz-Carlton, Orlando at the age of 65. He became America's dad when he starred in Full House, and he brought the dad jokes along when he hosted America's Funniest Home Videos. Saget is also being remembered for his non-family-friendly stand-up comedy, as well as for his work as a director and as the narrator of How I Met Your Mother. Actor Dwayne Hickman died January 9, 2022 in Los Angeles. He died of complications of Parkinson's disease at the age of 87. He starred in The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis, playing the title character of the groundbreaking 1960s sitcom. Hickman is also being remembered for starring in The Bob Cummings Show and in movies including Cat Ballou and Ski Party. Musician Calvin Simon died January 6, 2022 at the age of 79. He was a founding member of the legendary funk music collective Parliament-Funkadelic. He is also being remembered for his later solo career recording gospel music. Simon was a U.S. Army veteran of the Vietnam War. Martha Earnhardt died December 25, 2021 at the age of 91. She was the mother of the late NASCAR legend Dale Earnhardt and the grandmother of his son, racing champion Dale Earnhardt Jr. Earnhardt is being remembered as the matriarch of one of NASCAR's most notable families. Pro wrestler Dee Booher died January 7, 2022 at the age of 73. She was one of the original women to wrestle with Glow, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, in the 1980s. She wrestled as Matilda the Hun and Queen Kong. Booher is also being remembered for her acting career, with appearances in movies including Spaceballs and in TV shows including Night Court and Married with Children. Musician James Mtume died January 9, 2022 at the age of 76. He made his name playing with jazz greats like Miles Davis, and he went on to write hit songs for Roberta Flack, Phyllis Hyman, Teddy Pendergrass, and Mary J. Blige. He is being remembered for Juicy Fruit, his hit R&B single from 1983 with his band Mtume. Songwriter Marilyn Bergman died January 8, 2022 at her home in Los Angeles. She died of respiratory failure at the age of 93. She and her husband were a songwriting team who won 3 Oscars, including for writing The Way We Were and The Windmills of Your Mind. Bergman is also being remembered as the first woman to serve on the board of ASCAP, the music licensing agency. Bodybuilder Chris Dickerson died December 23, 2021 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He died of heart failure at the age of 82. He was the first Black competitor to win Mr. America in 1970. Dickerson is being remembered for his graceful style of posing, inspired by his training in ballet. Football player Don Maynard died January 10, 2022, at a care facility in Ruidoso, New Mexico. He died of complications of dementia at the age of 86. He was a Hall of Fame receiver for the New York Jets and helped lead them to victory in Super Bowl III. Maynard is being remembered as part of a formidable team with quarterback Joe Namath. Civil rights activist Clyde Bellecourt died January 11, 2022, at his home in Minneapolis. He died of cancer at the age of 85. He was a co-founder of the grassroots organization AIM, the American Indian Movement. He also founded the Heart of the Earth Survival School for Native American youth. Bellecourt is being remembered as an influential activist who fought to achieve better treatment under the law for Native American people. Singer Ronnie Spector died January 12, 2022, of cancer at the age of 78. She was the lead singer for the girl group the Ronettes, known for their classic 1960s pop songs, including Be My Baby. Spector is also being remembered for recording with Bruce Springsteen and Eddie Money. Her vocals were prominently featured in Money's hit Take Me Home Tonight. Singer Rosa Lee Hawkins died January 11, 2022, at Tampa General Hospital in Florida. She died of complications from surgery at the age of 77. She sang with the 1960s girl group the Dixie Cups, whose hits included Chapel of Love and Iko Iko. Hawkins is being remembered as one of the legends of the New Orleans music scene. Every week in the United States, flags are lowered to half-staff to honor the lives of Americans whose communities are mourning their loss. Here are the most recent half-staff memorial flag honors. Flags in Arizona have been lowered to honor the memory of Casa Grande police officer Jesus D. Lara. Flags in Alabama have been lowered to honor the memory of former Secretary of State Nancy L. Worley. Flags in California have been lowered to honor the memory of Barstow Fire Protection District engineer David Spink. Flags in Minnesota have been lowered to honor the memory of St. Joseph Volunteer Fire Department Captain Andy Loso and Tinta Fire Department firefighter Timothy Cath. Flags in Arkansas have been lowered to honor the memory of former Adjutant General M.G. Harold Gwatney. Flags in Kentucky have been lowered to honor the memory of former State Representative Darrell T. Owens. Flags in Wisconsin have been lowered to honor the memory of firefighter James Jim Ludlam and Captain Brian Bush of the Mineral Point Fire Department, who died in the line of duty. Flags in Alaska have been lowered to honor the memory of former State Representative Jules Wright. This week also marks several notable anniversaries. 15 years ago this week, actress Yvonne De Carlo died of heart failure at the age of 84. 65 years ago this week, actor Humphrey Bogart died of esophageal cancer at the age of 57. Musician David Bowie was born 75 years ago this week. He died of liver cancer in 2016 at the age of 69. Musician Clarence Clemons was born 80 years ago this week. He died of complications from surgery in 2011 at the age of 69. You can read more about the lives of the people featured in this video on Legacy.com. You can also follow Legacy.com on Facebook and subscribe to our channel on YouTube to stay up to date on national news deaths and reactions.